Some new additions to Highway 280 causing quite the headaches, but the problem might be you. I'm Bryant, Somerville, and I'll have that story coming up.
Plus, tragedy strikes a Northport family after a loved one is killed in a car accident.
And when fire strikes your home, do you have an escape plan? It could make the difference between life and death. Good evening, I'm Brenda Ledun.
And I'm Dave Baird. Thanks for joining us on the news at 6. Well, tonight, AlDOT wants drivers on 280 to be aware. You might be able to help traffic move a little faster. ABC 3340's Bryant Somerville is live on 280. And Bryant, there have been some recent problems with the new system, but AlDOT says chalk them up to user error.
Dave, how often do we hear it? The traffic here on Highway 280 constantly at a standstill. We also hear all the time that the traffic lights go from green to red way too quickly. Well, today I learned that's not the fault of AlDOT, it's the drivers.
Right there we have a left turn lane.
AlDOT engineer Brian Davis
You see that camera right there?
wants drivers on Highway 280
It's safer to stay behind the stop line where you're supposed to be.
to get in the zone. Last fall, AlDOT spent about $20 million on a 10-mile stretch upgrading lanes and installing cameras, not for recording, but for traffic lights.
In many instances, the drivers aren't pulling up to the stop bars properly and getting detected by the camera.
This is your 30-foot area that is outlined in green.
The new system has a 30-foot zone, meaning when you stop in those zones, the cameras detect you, then the light changes. It's something many drivers
Look where the camera's pointed, and look where the car is.
not familiar with.
There are times that a vehicle can pull too far up and be out of the zone and not get detected. There are times that a vehicle can be too far back and not get detected.
Can you see me? No? Well, that's not really surprising. Many drivers here on Highway 280 don't realize that they're turning left onto Overton Road. They have to move up in what they're calling a zone. Once they're in this zone, it triggers this stoplight to turn green. Now can you see me? That's better. The next thing drivers need to remember, that 30-foot zone turns into a 15-foot zone when green. Oh, and the green lights are not timed. So if you're not ready, you're going to miss it.
Fourth car's back there texting or on the phone not paying attention. They look up and the cars in front of them are gone. They start to accelerate, try to catch up, and all of a sudden the light changes. And it's because we have this thing called a gap time.
If a camera doesn't detect you in 3 to 4 seconds, back to red. 280 traffic engineer Brett Sellers.
I've actually been here making observations and seen a gentleman that knew what was going on get out of his car and walk up and tell the lady in front of him, hey, if you don't pull up, you're not going to get a light.
And again, AlDOT asking you tonight to help spread the word. They say by knowing how Highway 280 operates and by knowing how these lights operate, it's going to make for a much easier commute. Live in Birmingham on Highway 280 tonight, Bryant Somerville, ABC 3340.